thing on. Uh-oh. Hey guys, it's Michael the Transit Guy. Hey, thanks for tuning into my channel today. Today, I am sharing with you my story, where I came from, how I do what I do. It starts right now. Let's go. I just want to share with you my story. I want to invite you into my world for a few minutes. Well, I grew up in a city, of course. Well, some people don't grow up in cities. I grew up in Oklahoma City, 1980. And I'm going to get right to it. I have a prosthesis. How do I cope with that in life? How do I overcome things? Well, I'm going to share with you how I overcame obstacles in my life with this prosthesis. So my mom had some complications with me at birth, and my leg was deformed, and I couldn't walk like a normal human being. So at the age of 3, they amputated my leg. So I had to learn how to walk, learn how to do things as other 3-year-olds would do. And so, well, I just did it. I'm gonna fast forward in life because you don't need to know all the stuff in between, but everything starts with me right up until I get into the 6th grade. So I'm going to school across town, and how do I get to school? Well, I had to take the city bus to school. And you can imagine my first time riding a bus to school without my mom or anybody, just riding down Northwest 23rd Street in Oklahoma City, kind of from the east side of town to the west side of town. And well, so that's what I had to do. So my favorite seat on that bus was sitting right in the front seat. So I could see everything. I can see what's going out that big old window of that RTS bus, and watching the driver, everything that he does and how he controls the bus. Well, the driver and I became really good friends. We began to know each other by name. And so he would show me how the bus worked, how it operated. First, he's like, there's a knob on the side, and how you turn the knob on to turn it on, because those buses don't have keys. Actually, most transit buses don't have keys. Maybe all, but I'm just going to say most of them do not have keys. And then he showed me how to do the blinkers. You got to use your left foot for the blinkers, and so I thought that was interesting. And it was just really neat. Show me how the door works and everything about the bus. And so there was a love, a passion that began to grow in my heart for these things. And some of y'all know what I mean. There's just a love about transit buses. My wife thinks I'm crazy at times, but she understands. She really does. So kind of fast forward a little bit more, well, there's some obstacles that I really had to overcome going into middle school and high school. Sports. I would begin to try out for basketball, the basketball team. And of course I made it. I'm not the world's greatest player, but I know how to run with my prosthesis. I know how to shoot, but I think my 2nd grade boy knows how to play basketball better than I do. But that's good. I want him to be way much better than I am. So I overcame sports. I was able to play basketball, even got time in on the court, and I actually maybe made a couple of shots, but I was just grateful that I could get out there and do it. Senior year comes around. Now what do I do with my life? Well, I enroll in college and as a music major, but I decided at the last minute that I wouldn't go. So I backed out. My music teacher was just upset with me. That's another story, another time, and how everything came about. But I decided I'm gonna make money. So went to work at a bank and as a teller, and I was shocked that I got the job as a teller, and I got it, But then, on 23rd Street, I just kept seeing those city buses going back and forth, and I wanted to maybe work for Metro Transit in Oklahoma City. then I began to do some research because I know my prosthesis would be an issue. I did some research and found out that there are waivers, federal waivers, if you want to drive a big vehicle, commercial driver's license, if you want the license. And so I overcame that. I went to the doctor, did all the tests that they wanted me to do, lift my leg, climb up steps, a ladder, lift pounds or some weights or whatever, I don't know, but I was able to overcome it. And they said, okay, yeah, you're good to go. And what did I do? I started studying for the CDL. And I went in, first time, take the test, nervous as can be. As I'm doing the test, everything's great. And then get to the air brake part, and I just couldn't remember everything there. So I didn't pass the air brake part. So I had to come back again and then take that again, but I passed it the second time. I was still so excited the first time around. I didn't realize how many different levels of different tests that you have to take to obtain a CDL. Well, I got it. I got the permit at least. So what do I do next? I go to Metro Transit. I fill out an application, and they called me for an interview. I was ecstatic, happy, and I went in and they loved me, and they said, hey, we'll hire you. Since you went through all those tests, the government's good, got your permit, we'll train you, take you back to do the driving test. And so 2 weeks later, I was hired on, did well through all the training, and I'm in. And so I couldn't believe it. I'm actually learning or driving a city bus around my hometown. And so I overcame that obstacle. And so, so I'm a God-fearing man. So about a year or so later, the Lord just got a hold of me and said, why are you not in school? And I knew I needed to go to college instead of just sitting in the driver's seat all my life. And so that was just me. Some of you, that's your calling, to be in the driver's seat. But I knew there was something else for me, and I love music. I love everything about church music. And so I went back to college, got my degree, and now I'm wanting, I'll back up a little bit. While I was in college, I had to quit again because it was just too far, 30 minutes away, to get back into town, do my route, and go back to class. So I had to quit. So I drove school buses, and I worked at a church with a bus ministry, and they had buses, but some of their buses were manual buses. Had another obstacle, removing a restriction that was on my license. It said that I'm only allowed to drive manual transmissions. No, automatic transmissions, not manual. So I was going to overcome this. So what did I do? I went down to the DPS and I said, hey, I want to get this restriction removed, and brought a bus with me. And they're like, how are you going to do it? I said, I'll show you. And it's a crazy thing that I do, but I don't have to worry about that anymore because there are pretty much no more manual transmission buses out there. And so, but I was able to get that restriction removed. Don't need to go through that whole story. But my left leg really much did the clutch and the brake. Let's just say that. And I was able to still use my right leg to, do the throttle and all that. So I got that removed, and I had no limitations now. And I could drive whatever I want, except semis. I don't care about semis. They're just not me. Well, graduated from college, went back to Metro. I said I wanted to be a supervisor, so they hired me to drive again, but I wanted to move up with my career there. Well, that didn't happen. They decided to hire someone else, and I quit because I went through all that college, and I wanted to do something and help the company. So I made a move to Austin, Texas, and I met my wife and my beautiful family. So here's a photo of them. They are the loves of my life, and I just love them to death. And anyways, I began to work full-time ministry in the church, and we're now in Plano, Texas. And here's just a little bit of my ministry. I get to lead a nice choir, orchestra, and a band each and every week, and a great congregation here in Plano, Texas, Hunters Glen Baptist Church. If you want to tune in, you can. But it's a great ministry. Love it. I am loving life. I'm also working part-time as well, I was about to say something else, as a charter bus driver with Lone Star Coaches. And so I get to drive charter buses, and man, these things are just fun. The fleet that they have are great, and I enjoy it. I get to do everything that I want to do. Recently, of course, I purchased 2 transit buses. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I just am loving being able on my day off to just go work on them, clean them up, drive them around town. Who knows? I may sell them, make a little profit off of them, hopefully. But we're just have it as a hobby. And so I just want to let you know, if you're out there and you feel like you have obstacles holding you up, you can overcome these obstacles. I overcame them, and I'm grateful. You know, I was actually one of those statistics of a black man, you know, not surviving or doing college, you know, would probably most likely be in jail or in prison. And I overcame that. And, you know, I said, I'm going to make something of my life. You can make something of your life if you just get right down to it and just focus on it and do it. Just do it. And so that's my story. And so I kind of wanted to just let my community know. So now you know more about me, and don't know which direction the channel will go, because I just kind of want to bring you into my life and my family and what I like to do. So if you haven't yet, like and subscribe to this channel. I am trying to get to 100 so that we can make this channel official, and it will be known as the Transit Guy. And so anyways, thank you guys for tuning in today. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions about, you know, anything I went through with my prosthesis, the waiver stuff. If you have questions about that, let me know. I am going to be putting out a video on, you know, life with 2 transit buses, and, you know, purchasing and then, you know, the insurance, because that's a big thing, you know. But I was surprised my insurance is not as expensive. But, you know, I am 40 years old, so some of you, it may, if you're, depending on where you are, it may be more expensive or less. So, hey, I hope you have a great day. It's Friday here, and it's spring break. We're going to Austin to see family and friends. And so I hope y'all have a great day. I'm going to try to get this video up. You're watching it, so it's already up. Peace out. Have a good one, guys.